and in this video we're going to be sharing with you our 12 different camera angles that you'd want to use to enhance your films and help bring more emotion to your stories. One of the biggest questions I get asked is which camera angle should I use and when? So we're looking to answer that question today. But first, let's answer the why. Why are camera angles important?
A few reasons. Number one being perspective. By shooting from different angles, you can give your audience multiple perspectives of what they're looking at to help them understand the scene and feel more connected to it. Number two, emotion. Different camera angles can help you convey different emotions, as we'll talk about more in just a moment. And number three, editing. Editing your video becomes a lot easier when you have multiple angles to choose from, which will ultimately help you tell a better story.
Now that you understand the why, let's talk about what are the 12 most popular camera angles you'll see in everyday films and when you'd want to use them. You have your wide shot, your long shot, your medium shot, the cowboy shot, a tight or close-up shot, a detail or extreme close-up shot, a low angle, a high angle, a Dutch angle, an over the shoulder, a POV shot, and a cutaway shot. A wide shot is usually captured on a wider angle lens so as to see more of your surroundings and is more frequently used when you're wanting to establish a location so the viewer can understand where the scene is taking place. Wide shots can also be used to portray emotion like loneliness, insignificance, or feelings of being removed from the action.
A long shot is also used to establish location, but with a bigger emphasis on your subject filling the entire frame, usually showing their full body. This look is best created using a tighter focal length and shooting from a distance.
A medium shot is usually from the waist up and is used to help the viewer focus in on what your subject is doing or saying. This shot is also great for helping the viewer feel as if they are close to the subject, because a medium shot most closely represents the distance you view people from as you're having a conversation with them.
A cowboy shot is in between a long and a medium shot, framed from the mid-thigh up, called so because of its popular use in Western films. This would be used instead of a medium shot if you need to show detail around the waist like a freaking gun.
A tight shot is often just the head and shoulders of your subject, used mainly for dialogue or to show the detailed expression of your subject. Tighter shots are usually used for important or intense or intimate pieces of dialogue or action to help the viewer know that they should really pay attention to what's being said. And tight shots are typically best shot on tighter focal lengths, like around 50 to 100 millimeter.
A detail or extreme close-up shot is used to put emphasis or importance on a specific detail in your image. Detail shots are a great way to create mystery and depth in a story to help draw the viewer's attention to the common theme. And again, detail shots are typically best shot on tighter focal lengths like 50 to 100 millimeters or macro lenses.
A low camera angle is used to make your subject appear larger than life and to portray power and dominance. Low camera angles can also be made to portray wonder and majesty as long as your subject is smaller than what surrounds them in your image.
A high camera angle does the exact opposite by portraying your subject as weak and inferior or smaller and vulnerable.
Now, a Dutch angle is basically any time you slightly tilt the horizon of your frame and is usually used to convey an uneasy emotion like something isn't quite right, basically giving the feeling like the world is on its side. Dutch angles can be artfully utilized to tell us that something is wrong.
Over-the-shoulder shots are exactly how they sound. When you have two subjects talking to one another, you put the camera behind the shoulder of one of the two, placing one in the foreground, giving the perspective as if you are the person that is being talked to.
A POV or point of view shot depicts an angle that shows what a character is looking at. This type of shot allows the viewer to take on the perspective of the character and begin to understand their state of mind on a more personal level. This is commonly used in action or sports scenes to help give the audience the thrill of being in the driver's seat, and is usually shot on a wide angle lens so that you can see more of your surroundings.
A cutaway shot is an interruption of a continuously filmed scene by inserting a view of something completely different. Cutaways are great to help transition to new scenes or to show side stories happening at the same time as your main story.
So there you have a quick look at the 12 most popular camera angles. Let's now give you some examples of how we apply each of these angles into different styles of films. In our first example, we're going to show you a scene shot from all 12 camera angles we just mentioned to show you how much more life it brings to your film when you utilize camera angles. Check it out.
gotta be kidding me!
As you can see, by adding multiple camera angles, it creates a variety of perspectives, adds more emotion of intensity, and it helps the editor more easily piece together a compelling story. Now, of course, we also added slow motion, sound effects, sound design, a letterbox, a color grade, and so on, but camera angles were a huge part of making this sequence more cinematic.